One of the things that I've got that is new that I want to try out is my new Tensa Outdoors Tensa 4. Mzadi actually has one of these. Hers is over there laying on the ground. She's actually used hers before, set it up. I got this for Christmas. I have not used it. I haven't even put it together and tried it yet. So this would be the first time I'm ever using this one. I do know this one here has the full straps, whereas hers has like the whoopee sling for the feet. Pulled it out once, took a look at it, kind of enjoyed it, but I have yet to actually put it together. So that is what I'm going to do now, is see if I get my Tensa put up. So let's see how this goes. All right, let's open up my new Tensa. Look how shiny it is. It's also clean and shiny, and I even still have the paperwork in here. This is how new this is and unused. I'll hand this to Mzadi and see how well she handles the camera. There you go, my wife. You may hear my wife's angelic voice come over the speaker a little bit. It's like magic. Only sometimes magic fails. Yeah.
The right ones with the right ones. It gets easier. So like, I think one side has the 3 sections and one side has 4 sections.
Alright, so
there you go. 3 to 4. That's how it goes. 3 sections and 4 sections.
That's what I had to put in, right? One of these goes up further. But it's not. Okay, maybe. It's been a minute. It's been a long minute. Yeah, pause it. All right, now that we got the seemingly hard part figured out, which was probably harder than it needed to be. So these are all the same length with the telescoped apart. And as she explained to me, because she's done this more times than I have. So each of these have, I don't know if you can see that, but they all have the Tensa logo on it. And the poles that have the Tensa logo on it, because these telescope, there's 8 pieces as you saw, they come out together into 4. The ones that have the Tensa logo on it extend out into 4 segments. You know, 1 segment, 2 segments, 3 segments, 4. The ones that are shorter, that don't have that, that go into the bigger poles, they have 3 segments. So you got a 3 segment side, you got a 4 segment side. And they all extend out into big, nice, long pieces like that. And now we're going to figure out the rest of it, and it's probably going to be just as complicated and difficult.
You should probably pause the video.
I might have to pause the video a few times, but whatever. I have the instructions.
Yeah.
So I may be reading those a little bit.
We got it.
We get it. Let's get this thing done.
This goes on your base, so that's going to be on the ground. Okay.
That's her foot.
This is your ridge line, which you don't need to use because your hammock has
a ridge line.
Right. But if you can use it if you want to, it's a fail safe or whatever, or to make it easy to set up. But if you have a ridge line on your hammock, you can use the ridge line on your hammock. And then there's these 2, and these 2 are what you're going to like attach to the ground, or in our case, attach to the tree.
One side of those gets staked down to the ground so it doesn't pull up, and the other one just gets weighted. Yeah, I mean, Tensas stay up pretty good by themselves. They really just need to be secured on one end, unless, you know, you may be drinking beer or something. And you get on the other end, the other side of that baseline, and it collapses on you. Your foot end needs to be anchored pretty good. Right. But your head end just needs to be a little bit weighted so you don't end up in a clamshell. And then you've got these little guys. These are a little bit different than mine because mine's all am steel. So I don't recognize this. I'll have to look at your instructions. I'm not quite sure where carabiners work on yours because my straps are all made of am steel. So anyway, we'll figure it out. And then we have 2 different sets of stakes. This is, we're going through the pieces. This is our standard.
That's a boom stake.
Yeah, it's called a boom stake. And I don't know quite how it works, but
It
the
goes in-
instructions are there.
Yeah, it goes in like if you're in hard ground, and then you wrap the webbing around here, and it kind of uses the, I think it goes like this. It uses the ground to keep it from pulling out. See what I mean? But we're not going to use that today. We're going to attach to trees.
And then we have the orange screw, and this here is for like if you're in mud, sand, snow. This here
Soft soils, yeah.
actually goes through.
Help you spin it.
There you go. It goes in like that, and that gives you a good anchor point to grab spin in. So that's for really, really loose ground. We just need that extra hogging into the dirt. So those are the pieces. That's all of it, and we're gonna prod her infinite knowledge of using these because she's done it more times than I have. And
we're gonna use the instructions because I don't know a whole lot about. I don't know where these come in. But we'll see.
We're a little bit out of practice on this. It's been a minute.
The
instructions.
This is the next step. You lay them out in like in X's.
And then we attach the webbing.
Yeah.
All right, let's do that. All right, and you can tell she's already got this thing in its little X pattern here, and we're going to strap the feet together with those little hooks, and just like that. So let's do it. All right, so in here, as you see, I go through the holes with the little thing here. Then I thread the bottom webbing through, and then I continue to go through the other side and then bring the ball around. So if I undo this real quick, it looks like that whenever you put it together. So you pull. Okay, so I had it wrong last time. So you take the needle, you feed it through one, you feed it through, actually I went the other way. So you feed it through one, you feed it through the other, then you put your webbing through that, or put that through your webbing, bring it around, and then lash this ball on the other side. As always, I've got my very trusty Dutchware gear Chameleon hammock. I'm just going to connect one end to one of these daisy chains, stretch it out, connect it to the other, and let's not do that because that works better. Yeah.
Hang on a second.
I'm on the tree now.
Is that better? Getting in?
When you're done messing with it, I
Okay, but see, we're not, something's weird.
It shouldn't snap on me because it is tied up both ends, but let's make sure. All right, loosen my weight. No!
You're fine.
Are we sure?
Yeah.
Are we sure?
Yeah.
They don't feel all right.
You're not high enough off the ground, so we're gonna make this narrower, this bottom narrower.
All right, let's do it.
So to make it higher, see that strap right there? I want to bring it in, and again, this one looked all kind of weird, so I'm glad we're moving it.
Take two. I'm definitely not born knowing how to do this. It's definitely a learning curve.
Well, and Tensa's, it takes some tweaking. You know, it's fiddly. But once you get it set, you don't have to do it again.
Okay. And always you want to keep your weight on the head end of this strap. If you go on this end, it will want to pull, as you saw, and it will, if you're not anchored in, it'll snap in. So always keep your weight on the head end of your bottom strap. So go again. Oh yeah. Oh, that works well. It's not too tight up here on the ridge line on the hammock itself. bit of Tensa. My Tensa.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to me. Hey, cool. I got a Tensa. That's awesome. So now anywhere, I don't even have to have a tree. Like, we're doing this because it's available, but we can take this really anywhere. I don't even need a tree. I can just stake it out. I can be in a desert. I can be at the plains. There are parts where they don't allow you to hammock on the tree. They have really strict rules. You cannot hammock off the tree. You
can do it in a parking lot.
This allows that. You can do it in a parking lot.
Yeah, just tie it to your car.
Man, you look online, man, there are people who have traded their whole beds in their home, their apartment. They trade their whole beds for one of these, and they absolutely swear by it. And it is really cool. It just adds a whole different world of freedom to your hammock camping, because, you know, when you're a hammock camper, you're restricted on where you can hammock. And if you can find the right trees, if they're far enough apart, widow makers, this takes a lot of that out of the equation. We're kind of doing like a hybrid here. We're still using the Tensa and the tree, but you know, that's the cool thing about camping. You can just really mix it up, and whatever works. It's awesome. So another new thing that I'm actually going to want to try out here, I've seen this on a couple videos. I've not actually tried it myself, and I've kind of already got it sort of set up. But you see that my tarp has these tie downs on it, these little tie outs actually. And I've got one on each side and over here. And you see, I've actually got my trekking poles hung up here, because I have seen the people are taking their trekking poles, tie them up over here with that tie out put attached to it, and kind of lifting the tarp up and out a little bit, because, you know, I should be able to take these and tie it to, say, a tree or something, but I don't really have anything out here nearby to do it. So I'm going to try to do this with the trekking poles. This is a first. It's kind of a night of first out here. It's the first time doing the Tensa, first time trying this. Got a couple other things in here we're going to try for the first time, and see how it goes. Let's wish me luck on this. All right, I've got one of them on. It's a little tippy, but it's also the wind's blowing, but there's one of them. I'm gonna pull it out a little bit. Let's do the other one, see how it works. And I'll even keep it recording this time, so you can see what I'm doing, sort of. Not the greatest angle. I want to see if I can do this with this tucked under my arm. So I'm going to push this through like so. Oops. And like that. All right. Just like that. Oh no. One of them fell off. I must fix that. After some trial and error and a little bit of finagling and no shortage of a few choice words, I think we've finally got it all set up here, especially on my end. I made the mistake of having my tarp put down and staked before I had my quilts on. So I got ahead of myself, a little backwards there. So kind of had to strip that down, redo the quilt. And because it's a new quilt, it's my new Jacks Are Better Mount Washington 0 degree quilt. So it's a big one. I've only used this thing once before, and I was actually pretty cold because I just didn't have it set up right. So I laid in the hammock with the quilt on, and then my wife went from side to side and tightened things up, tried to adjust the collars, try to make sure I don't have any wind slipping in between my hammock and my quilt, so I can stay actually warm, because it's a 0 degree quilt. There's zero reason I should be cold. So did that a little bit and restaked it down, got it set up, redid. Again, no shortage of some vulgarities involved in that, but I think we got it set up, and I think we're good. She's got her set up. She's got hers kind of in like half porch mode, a little bit kind of quaint, easy to get in, out. Got her chair under it. Mine is just down. It's just down. Of course, I'm using my trekking poles to support my pull outs, which is actually kind of falling down over here, and I'm still figuring that part out. Whatever. It took quite a bit longer than what we're used to this doing. I feel like we've been out here for hours doing this. We normally it's like 15 minutes, but
it's always taken us an hour now, in real life.
I don't think it's taken us an hour this long in time. So we're out of practice. We haven't done this in a minute and kind of forgot how to do it.
Yeah.
So kind of have to relearn some of this stuff. So
Same with new gear too, like those cold weather underquilts. We haven't successfully used those yet. You know, getting the collars right, it just takes some time. You know, you have a new Tensa that I've never set up a Tensa with those webbing. I think we did pretty good considering. I think if you're gonna hammock camp, like fiddling with your gear, you have to like that, or you're not gonna like hammock camping. Like, it's just kind of part of it. If you don't like tying things one way and then changing something and then, you know, doing something different every time, then hammock camping probably isn't for you.
she's right. Hammock camping does have a lot more accessories, a lot more different ways of setting them up, and there are multiple points to set up. I mean, we got both ends, we got the tarps to deal with since we're using Tensas. I mean, it really is just a lot more. So it can be frustrating, and I am not one for patience. So getting it figured out. We're trying to get back into our groove over here. It's just taking a while, but we've got that dialed in. That's looking good. So we've got all this wood, and I think we're going to try to start a fire because it's kind of cold out here, and I could use some heat.
It's chilly. That north wind is it's coming up.
Yeah, it's starting to bite.
For a fire.
It's definitely time for a fire. Let's get that going.